Good morning again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We're about to go back to that horrible world known as the JRC. But before we get started, the usual disclaimers. In the description box, you're going to find a link to the article that the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center really doesn't want you to read. It's written by NeuroClastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistics for autistics, wherein they interviewed and surveyed over 900 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's quote-unquote behavior modification program. Matter of fact, the JRC doesn't want you to read this article so much, they have threatened NeuroClastic with a defamation lawsuit if they did not remove it from the website. NeuroClastic has refused, so you know the drill, folks. Please read that article and share it on all your social media. You also have linked in there NeuroClastic's public statement regards to the defamation lawsuit threat, as well as a link to their GoFundMe. We are crowdfunding, folks, in case the JRC actually has the balls to see through with their threat. We got the new link, starting up with new links, folks, to the Agape Boarding School / Stone of Help School situation in Stockton, Missouri. Formerly Agape Boarding School, now rebranded as a Stone for Help, is a so-called Christian-themed boarding school based out of Stockton, Missouri that takes in so-called troubled male teens that has and pending over 21 civil lawsuits, claims, and allegations leveled against it, all which have been substantiated by the hard evidence gathered by the Missouri Department of Social Services that includes the following: sodomy, sexual assault, rape, child abuse, psychological and emotional abuse, child trafficking, starvation, and that's just for starters. You have one former staff member arrested by the FBI, another a doctor who's once again still on the premises, folks. He didn't just go away because of the name change, upon multiple, again, substantiated claims and allegations of sodomy, rape, and sexual assault of the boys there. We got a brand new attorney general who likes to pretend that this place doesn't exist. And you got a governor so far up Trump's ass he can't be bothered to protect the children of this state. So, folks, please read that article by Ozarks First. And don't forget to share it on all your social media. Excuse me, folks. Allergies. You got the other pertinent links to the Stop the Shocks campaign as well, including Autistic Hoya's massive archive on the subject. The link to Jennifer Masemba's behavioral sheet of shockable offenses. A clip out of the 7-hour ordeal undergone by Andre McCollins back in 2002. The templates and the ever-present self-explanatory change.org Shut the Judge Rotenberg Center Down petition. When we discuss the JRC, you're going to hear vivid descriptions of and catch clips of surveillance footage of people with disabilities being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please, folks, go ahead and use your headphones. This channel is marked not for children for a reason. We use profanity and speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and watching us, parental supervision is very obviously advised. Trigger warning, we are about again to descend into the mad ravings of the lunatic mind known as Dr. Matthew Israel. We're going to hear lies. We're going to hear coerced falsities that Dr. Matthew Israel used his power over the students in order to force them out. We're going to hear gaslighting, victim blaming, pseudoscience. Did I mention lies? And enough ableism, bigotry, and just out and out bullshit to circle the globe and make my brain want to fucking spontaneously combust. So just, be prepared for that, alright? Alright, now what we are about to see here, folks, is he's going to pull up a bunch of these testimonials of students who have written about the wonderful JRC. Before we get into those, I want to smack you with a little bit of reality. I know, at least in particular for one case, that it has been proven when such a letter was coerced out of someone before they left the school. When they then left the school, they have since then recanted the statement, because the statement was made as a so-called glowing testimonial. It was done under duress. Anybody who's ever had any dealings with the law would know that such a thing would never be allowed in court, nor would it can be considered a truthful testimonial, because the person who was making it was under direct threat at the time. All right? So please keep that in mind while we read these so-called glaring testimonials. All right, one female former student says, before coming to the Judge Rotenberg Center, I was very aggressive. I used to hit my mother. I used to grab knives. I used to cut myself. I used to manipulate to get my way by banging my head or threatening to cut myself or threatening to commit suicide. I voluntarily asked if I could go on the GED. I'm currently not on any medications. My relationship with my mother is now wonderful. I'm going to tell you, I've seen so many errors in just that one testimonial. That's a bunch of lies, folks. That was something that was written by coercion. You want to know how I know? Because us autistics are hardly lining up to give you the darkest details of our lives. We're very private individuals. We tend to internalize things a lot. It takes a fucking lot of shit to go down for us to be even willing to ask anybody for help. But I'm supposed to believe that this student just spontaneously just wanted to bust for gratitude for the JRC? Nah, I don't think so. Not to mention everything she just listed, everything, the stunted way in which it is written makes me want to call into question its validity. Because it sounds like this is what they told her she did, not what was actually happening. Particularly when they say manipulate. I have a major problem with this because it's prevalent throughout ABA. And I'm going to tell you why. If you look us up in the DSM-4 and in the DSM-5, as a matter of fact, one of the things that is listed as a deficit for us is the fact that we are honest to a fault. To a fault, folks. So what does that mean? It means, whereas I may tell you half-truths, or I will pull out a bullshit lie that is so easily told that it doesn't even, there's no purpose in me in lying because it's like my face, you can see it, okay? It's this idea that we do these behaviors because we're trying to manipulate and get something that we want. It's a lie, folks. I wasn't slamming a hairbrush into my head repeatedly trying to draw blood because I'm trying to manipulate anything. It's called a meltdown, folks. Meltdowns are not the same as temper tantrums, even though that's what they're trying to manipulate this poor girl into saying. We don't have control during these times, folks. There is no rational mind. It is pure animal brain time, okay? All right? When I did the self-abusive behaviors, I wasn't trying to manipulate anyone. I wasn't trying to get anything out of it. I'm a smart girl. I've been a smart girl my whole life. Matter of fact, that was one of the reasons why I was targeted for bullying as a kid. Okay? I'm a card-carrying member of the Nerd Squad and have been for damn near 40 years. Okay? I was hardly going out of my way to try and make myself more of a target than I already was. Matter of fact, the name of the game was to try to make myself invisible as to not be noticed enough to become a target. Which is the truth of most of us disabled. Do we eventually snap or learn otherwise not so great behavior? Maybe. But it's like if somebody repeatedly punches you in the face, no matter how stoic you are, eventually you're going to snap, get up, and slug them in the throat. Okay? Same logic. We're not trying to manipulate anything when we have these behaviors, folks. We're not trying to get anything out of you. We don't think that all of a sudden our peers like us. That is the stupidest shit I've ever heard. But what's motivating you for the behaviors? Can you believe me when I tell you nothing? Nothing. Okay? There is no motivation. I want you to hear this. There is no motivation behind it. There is no thought process behind it. There is no logic, no anything that you can wrap your head around that's causing this to happen. Okay? When we are engaged in meltdown, we're not trying to get a response out of our neurotypical peers. Matter of fact, it would be better if you were nowhere near us during the time. All right? We do these things because it is out of our hands at the point. Do you understand what I'm saying? When I am in meltdown, there is no rational brain.
One of my autistic friends and I were actually talking about this a couple weeks ago. When he stims, he tends to beat his head against walls. And he bluntly told me, I'm fully aware of what I'm doing. I have no idea why I'm doing it, and I can't stop myself. It's just this thing. I lose control, and it's what happens.
That's meltdown, folks. That's meltdown. It's animal brain. Okay? There is no rhyme. There is no reason. There is no manipulation. This is a coerced testimony by someone who was taught what to say. Okay? And it is so obviously taught what to say that this does not sound like any autistic that I have been around. And yes, I'm even talking about nonverbals here. This is not how we talk. We don't have stunted speech. If we want to give you a glowing review, it's going to be like Paul's friend Isaac, who wrote a soliloquy about a rock in his driveway. It's poetic. When we are glowing and we are happy and we love something, it's not stunted like this.
Most interesting 12 pages I've ever read about a single rock in my life.
That's my point. You see what I'm saying? This is stunted. This is someone who's been told what to say. If you think she voluntarily offered this up and used this stunted form of speech, I got a river in Egypt, I can tell you. Paul has beachfront property out in Kansas for you. See where I'm going here? This is not a true testimony. I'll close on that. We don't get very many views on this channel, and the few that we do tend to get removed from time to time. So please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, and don't forget to hit the comments. I do appreciate your time. As always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. But before we go, when we are in meltdown, when we're in that state of mind, there is no control. However, there are signs to when we are about to become into that state. I only know this because I'm not only just a people watcher, I'm a me watcher. And I noticed over a period of years that there are certain behaviors that I start going through when there's a meltdown coming.
I can tell.
Pretty noticeable signs if you know what to look for. You can, although extremely difficult, you can, when the signs are showing, that's a good time to intervene. Even if it's just Paul and basically he throws chocolate in my general direction and takes a safe distance of about 5 feet back. It's something, folks, during that time period where you can possibly maybe intervene in a way that would actually not get you or me hurt. You see where I'm going here, right? That's when
chocolate at you and put a cat in your lap.
There is a rhyme and reason, though, because before all these things happen, something generally happens, folks. Whether it's my PTSD triggered, which Paul will tell you that's actually pretty much almost every time he's seen me in a meltdown, the PTSD got triggered first. That's that whole idea when I told you the weird not relationship from hell that is mental health issues and autism, and when they interact and bounce off each other. Yeah, real fun shit. That's not what I'm talking about. When you're going through the signs, there's still an ability to pull back. By the time I'm slamming a hairbrush into my head, or slamming my head into the floor, or slamming my arms into a wall repeatedly, or headbutting the wall, or throwing tables, or throwing couches, that's already gone the way of the dodo. Now I'm going to close. I do appreciate your time, and as always, we here at Spilling Tea hope you have a good one. Bye-bye, everyone.